wonderful humans who are happy to play D&D, right? Yes? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, all of that.
All right, let's
There
do...
was much rejoicing.
There was much rejoicing. And I believe everyone has microphones this time that are usable, yes?
Yeah.
Yay. Everybody got your dice?
Yep.
Always.
Wordman, have you upgraded your dice yet?
Aw.
Darn.
I mean, to be fair, it's Quentin who needs to upgrade his dice at this point.
That's true. Okay, so recap. After solving the puzzle of the door by picking the lock, the adventurers fight their way through a group of bandage-wrapped zombies. This led them into a hazardously broken maze with confusing twists and turns and collapsed tunnels and odd shortcuts and all manner of weird things. In the maze, they survived a tunnel collapse, a section of tunnel full of bloodweeds, and the obligatory acid pit, with only minor bumps and bruises. And this tunnel opened up into a vast natural cavern. The ceiling is completely swathed in thick, dusty spider webs. Other things. Brannon is the one who thought of trying to pick the lock on the door. Brandel hit Quentin again, while Quentin is wrapped up in zombie bandages. What, Wordman? You're not going to say I didn't know?
I mean, I don't know.
Secretly, Brandel
Now
has
it's
it
on
out for
purpose.
Quentin. Quentin mistakes Geth for the one who heals him after fighting the zombies, because obviously Geth is the one who heals everybody, right? But really it was Brannon, and Brannon was a little offended. Geth really did not like being wrapped up in zombie bandages, like super duper not. Brannon actually catches a ride with Druge on one of Druge's tusks when Brannon gets injured. Brandel laid down a nice layer of frost to get you all through the bloodweeds. Marthala ended up dropping Brannon into an acid pit. Sorry. Brannon picked up a spell scroll of Bless. Marthala picked up a healing potion, 2d4 plus 2. And Druge picked up 4 silver necklaces and wrapped them around his tusks, if I do recall.
You do recall.
Brandon has the RP point for some choice lines for inspiration, which I also think was particularly good because you were typing all of that instead of being able to say it out loud. Like, so good. And for those of you at home, the typing had the accent in it, like the way he typed it out was really good. Honorable mentions are Marthala for throwing and dropping Brannon into the acid pit, Brannon and Brandel leapfrogging each other to get out of the way of combat. And that's not like leaping forward, but rather leaping backwards. And Brandel disappearing whenever he gets low. It seems to be his oh shit mechanic.
Which it shouldn't be.
All right. You guys ended... What was that? Oh, I heard a weird echo. Everybody still there?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I had you guys roll initiative before you ended last time, and then promptly forgot to do anything useful with it. So give me 1 second.
Right. Did I write it down somewhere?
I've got everyone written down but Marthala.
Okay.
Fortunately, your
All
GM
right.
writes everything down, which is super handy.
Thank God, because I didn't even know that was
You rolled an 8.
Cool.
And now you'll never know if you actually rolled an 8 or I'm just being mean.
You just kind of came up with that. Okay, I mean, sure.
It's not like we record these or anything. They're definitely not posted to the internet.
And I don't have a giant spreadsheet or anything.
Nope. None of that.
Check, you didn't write the initiative at the end of the stuff? Wow.
I need to put you guys in... Whoop. Oh, God. Stop erasing everything. Okay, so I've got Brannon up first, and then... Oh, Geth and Drew's rolled the same number. Can you guys roll a d20 again for me and tell me which one's higher?
Cool.
Just the d20 or at our initiative?
Just a d20. It's basically a coin flip.
12.
17.
Drew goes first.
Mm.
Then Geth. This is fun.
Sorry, Dim. You said you covered the surprise round already. You said.
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, I'll get to that. Just give
Okay.
me a minute, like a minute.
It's
okay?
fine.
Like a minute.
Yeah.
Could you just give me like a minute?
You can have like 2 minutes.
Like a whole minute. You would not believe the stuff I did prepare. I just didn't prepare this particular
Believe you.
piece of stuff. So, and Marthala, you rolled a 4. I'm very sorry. Okay, so I've got the fight matrix set up because I draw a dumb matrix now, thanks to
You're welcome.
your good friend Quentin. Okay, so the way that this went down is you guys walked into this cavern and you're all looking at the very thick, dusty spider webs just covering the whole ceiling. And I had you guys roll a perception check, and Quentin was the only one that actually passed. So he actually spelled your name wrong, Quentin. So
What?
he actually sees a spider, but the rest of you do not.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh wait, so Luth, were you asking me if you get to go?
No, you just covered what I asked about. Literally just now.
Okay. So just keep going, I guess.
Oh,
Yep.
the rest of you are surprised.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
what does that mean?
So whoever has the higher initiative, me or the spider, gets to go right now.
Wait.
Oh,
what?
sweet.
So basically, we have a private initiative round
Wait, what?
Okay.
because you're surprised you're not acting yet.
Yeah, we don't
Oh,
get an
yeah, we
action
don't have
yet.
a turn. Yeah, that. Okay, yeah. Rules,
yeah.
guys. Rules.
Give me 1 second.
You can think of it as either we have private initiative, or you can think of it as you guys all skip a turn
Yeah, we don't. get
because
a
you were
turn
too
yet.
slow
I
or
prefer to
too
think of it as
imperceptive.
Quentin and the spider sitting in a tree.
Aw, that's actually kind of cute.
WEBBING.
Okay.
Okay.
Buttons. So you know how I did that cool thing? 10, 5, 10, 15, 20,
Yes.
25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55.
Which
Great.
cool thing?
Where I like built all the maps and like made encyclopedias and crap for the whole module. Yeah, I didn't do that, and it stopped about here. So this is gonna be fun because I'm gonna have to flip back and forth between a bunch of stuff instead of having it all up on my screen.
It's
All right,
fine.
so the spider is up,
Oh, good.
and it's gonna wave its butt at you.
I don't like that.
Does a 14
Or
hit?
do you really like it?
Spider twerking. Let's go.
Oh, gross.
That is gross. Does a 14 hit, Quentin?
Hit Quentin?
Yeah.
No, it does not.
Yeah.
By 1 point.
Oh, I forgot what all the colors mean. Oh, right, okay. Web at Q.
Legend of.
But that misses, which is terrible. Don't like that gray. That gray's bad. Okay, so it's gonna stay right where it is. Oh, why can't I move anything? There it is. It's gonna stay right where it is. So it's not gonna move anywhere. And then Quentin, you're up next.
Okay. I guess what I would do is I would shout spider. And it's that purple dot. Is the spider
It looks blue on my screen.
blue? Okay.
It's not. It's the not green dot.
The not green one. I
Okay.
gotcha. Okay. So that looks like it's a really long ways away. So I think I'm gonna have to pull out my bow.
That looks like it's pretty good for me.
It's about 60
Yeah.
feet away.
About 6. Okay, thank you. About 60 feet.
Mhm.
So that means I'm gonna pull out my longbow and take a shot at it.
Do it up. You are aiming at a
And-
giant spider that.
Ugh.
Oh, it doesn't actually describe it. It's a giant spider. It's gross.
Giant spider.
Like a
It's like a
spider, but
weird,
fucking
like
huge.
it's like a weird, like grayish green that like blends in with the floor, and it's
Of course
got
it does.
like a million eyes and like huge mandibles. And by like giant, I mean
bullshit
like
cave
it's
spider.
like the size of a horse. It's huge.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh dang.
I don't know if that's correct, but it is now canon.
12.
That does not hit.
Damn it. Okay. And
Wait,
then
what did you do that with? A bow?
Yeah,
Yeah,
6
shot
plus
in a
6, 12.
So that misses.
And I don't really have much on a. Yeah, I don't have anything on a bonus action, so I'm good. That's it.
Okay, next up is Brannon.
I got excited for a second, but
I
it
know.
was not me.
I get excited
Just-
too.
I don't want to be that guy, but just so we're being fair, doesn't it go back to the spider since
It does because of the surprise
it
round.
was a surprise round?
Why does it go back to the spider?
Because we skip our.
Only if his
You
initiative
can
is
go
higher
back
than
to
mine.
the top of the round.
But I already did that.
No, the spider one I went
Oh,
and then.
Brandon. Oh, she means Brandon has.
Oh, I'm
higher
sorry.
initiative than
Yeah,
the
I'm
spider.
sorry. Go. You're good. Never mind. I lied.
But but Tech backed you up, so
If
No,
Brandon
no,
has a higher initiative than the spider,
Yeah,
then
it
Brandon-
depends on what the initiative scores were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Brannon has a higher initiative than the
You're
spider.
right. I had it written down in my head wrong.
You're a dumb butt. Okay,
I
Brandon,
am a
you're
dumb
up.
butt.
Down in your head, Rob.
Do we know what the green dots are yet? Have we seen those?
Those are giant cocoons.
All right, and there were human-shaped ones
There
from when we walked.
were
Two of them.
human-shaped ones. There are 5
Cool.
web cocoons hanging down from the larger mass, their bottoms dangling about 10 feet above the cavern floor. 2 cocoons, one larger and one smaller, have a suspiciously humanoid shape.
Oh, so they're like in the fucking ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 feet off the floor.
Yeah, 10 feet off the floor. Okay.
It's not that high. up,
Like the
it's
worst
fine.
fruit
Ah.
harvest ever. Right then. So I reckon I'm gonna start off by bardic inspiration towards Marthola. So I'm not feeling so hot. I'm gonna need you to get in there and do what you do best. Swing that belly, grates, slash this thing in half.
Does that count as a
Efficient.
bonus action?
It is a bonus action, yeah.
Okay, just checking.
And then for my action,
What does she get for your inspiration at like a D6?
I believe it is
D4
a
currently?
D6. Yes.
Ooh, D6. You fancy.
Called it.
Sorry.
At her leisure for one ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. And then I'm gonna sling some vicious mockery at the old spider there. Let's see, I haven't had a lot of luck with this, but you big great hairy bastard, how many eyes you got there? And you couldn't surprise all of us. That's about all I got.
What's that called again? Vicious mockery?
So wisdom saving throw.
Yep. Wisdom. How much wisdom do you got, Spider? What's your DC?
It is 14.
It fails. So this is you said this was vicious mockery.
Uh-huh.
The spider starts to cry out of all of its millions of eyes.
4 psychic damage, which is 4.
Hey!
And has disadvantage on the next attack roll.
4 damage.
No good. And it is its turn next. If you're done, you gonna hang out there?
Yeah, I think I'll just stick right here.
Okay. I would like to point out that you're in front, but okay. All right. So
Back,
this.
move to the back.
Feeling very well. Hobbling to the back does not sound good right now.
Okay, so the spider is going to aim at Relic next, and it has
Uh-oh.
disadvantage. Does a math is hard. Does a 13 hit?
Tie goes to
Meets it, beats it. Yeah. Tie goes to attacker.
Well then, you should consider yourself.
Dead.
You stop that. You are restrained by webbing.
Oh, okay.
On your turn, as an action, you may make a DC 12 strength check, bursting the webbing on success. The webbing can also be attacked and destroyed with a bunch of vulnerabilities and a bunch of immunities. But we'll come to that when it's your turn again. You are restrained.
Gross! It got its juice all over me.
So the spider's just like throwing webbing at you, and as soon as it lands on you, it sort of like the force of it, because it's a really heavy like rope of spider silk, kind of knocks you backward onto the ground, and then it just sort of like glues you to the ground like silly string. It's very gross. I do not like spiders. I did not like this fucking module. Okay, Drew, you're up next. Wait, does the spider get bonus actions? That would be fun.
It does.
Action.
The question is, does it have anything it can do with a bonus action?
Of course it does. Okay, Drew, you're up next.
Cool. So I'm, say, what, 60-ish feet away from Spider?
You are about 70-ish feet
Also,
away from
I
Spider.
don't know how much hit
That's
points they have
unfortunate.
right
Each
now.
black square is a
5 feet?
5 feet.
Yeah, cool. I think Druge will shove his way to the front. And use the rest of his 30 feet of movement, however close that gets him. I think
So
that
let's say
still puts
5,
me...
10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How's that?
Cool. Close enough.
Okay.
And seeing as the spider is out of his reach currently, he'll reach onto his belt, grab his hand axe, and chuck it between the spider's eyes.
Nice. Roll for that, yeah? What you get?
Natural 20.
Oh, son of a bitch. Well, I mean, I guess that hits, so...
Did we decide we're doing max damage and then roll for the other one?
Yep.
Oh, is that how we're doing
Yeah, that's how we agreed this game will run.
it? Nice.
15 points of damage.
Ow. How many points does it have? Okay.
Instantly dead.
Okay. Guess, what do you got?
I already
sorry.
got this. Just
Druge, are you done?
Yeah, don't have any more movement. Don't have a bonus action at the moment. He'll just hold on to the glaive and be ready for the spider to come any closer.
Great. Geth, you're up.
all right. Got this. Just gonna move, push past Brennan and Marthala.
Uh-huh.
Just still kind of be at range, and say, I guess we're just gonna have to burn the whole place down and cast Sacred Flame on him.
What's the range on Sacred Flame?
60 feet.
Okay, yeah,
Nice.
you've got plenty of room. So Sacred Flame. Okay.
Dexterity 14.
Dexterity. Oh, it fails that. Okay, roll for damage.
It's 6 points of damage.
Dang. Okay, so what does this Sacred Flame look like?
So we're in a cave. I guess it's just fire materializing from the top of the cave, just like shooting down at it.
Like in a straight, like a shaft straight down.
Yeah.
So you can see the spider's legs sort of like thrashing around behind it. Sorry, hang on, I'm doing math. So you can see its legs sort of thrashing around behind it, and the column comes down and hits it square in the body, and its legs sort of like thrash around outside of the column, and then as the column dissipates, it gathers its legs back in.
Then, as a bonus action, I'm gonna heal Druge
Okay.
Hey.
for 10 points.
Holy shit.
Nice. All right, Quentin, you are up next. Quentin. Luthier muted.
Sorry, I was muted. My bad. I would kind of circle around closer, kind of to like the bottom right of Druge there, but
What's your
still
range?
is like my range is 150 feet with my longbow.
How?
It's
Oh.
a longbow.
Longbow.
Your movement. What's your movement?
Oh, my movement. I'm sorry. 30. So basically, if I move in a straight
Right there?
line, 33 sideways. Give it a second. Sure. Yeah, if that's it. And I will fire again. I'm gonna warm up this die. I'm gonna make this die work for me.
All right, roll it.
That doesn't usually work, dude.
Oh my
I
God!
can confirm. I can confirm that doesn't work.
And that one.
Wow. Oh, what do we want this to look like? Let's see.
I
Quentin
specifically
bursts into
moved
flame.
around so I wouldn't shoot anyone in the back of the head.
I think you like trip on your way as you're releasing the arrow, and so it just sort of like, have you
Oh,
ever
he's
tried to
doing
shoot
like
an
a
arrow and it
running
just falls
speed.
at your feet instead of it going anywhere?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what happens.
great.
Brandel, you're up.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna stay where I am, because there's a bunch of people between me and the spider.
Remember
no, I'm
that
gonna
if
try
there
to-
are people between you and the spider, you might hit them if you shoot through them. Do you remember you did
Yeah,
this
I'm
once?
gonna try to get an angle with the spider. I don't know if I can go like right next to where Gath is.
Yeah, like up against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, and I'm gonna Eldritch Blast the spider.
Okay.
It's a very good Travis.
Yeah. So let me roll the attack here. That is a 14 plus 6, 20. Dirty 20.
Yeah, that hits.
And
Well,
then-
does Eldritch Blast have a roll with it, or do you? Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah,
it does.
I roll.
Damage.
And then it's a D10. That's a 12. It's a D10. That is okay. That is a whopping 2 points of damage. 2 points of force damage.
Hey, every point counts. Marthala, you're up next. Oh, sorry. Brandel, are you done?
Yeah. Yeah.
And remind me again what Eldritch Blast looks like.
I'm just gonna like run as if I was like about to throw something, and then I'm gonna Eldritch Blast as I throw my hand forward.
Yeah, what color is it? And is it like
It's like purple-ish.
is it like a
green.
straight beam or is it
Yeah, it's
crackle of
like a
energy?
beam.
Yeah,
It's
like a straight
beam.
narrow
I
beam.
think you
like
said it was purple trimmed in green the
Yeah.
first time you did it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like we'll
It's
say
like
it's
a
like
beam
3 or 4 inches around, and so it's almost it's like a shoop straight from you
Yeah.
to them.
That phaser to stun.
Yeah, phaser is done. Cool. All right, Marthala, you're up. What are you gonna do?
Well, the sequence of events having just happened where Relic inspired me and then immediately got web blasted to the ground.
Help me
Probably
out.
I'm gonna look at him and sort of giggle to myself as I say, "Well, I better go kill that spider." And I will. Is the spider is not on the ground, correct? It is.
Oh, it's on
above
the ground.
The ground.
No, it's on the ground.
It's on ground level.
Cool. And how far am I from it?
You're about 60 feet from it.
I would like to. What do I want to do?
Anything
You
more
and
than
I
I've done.
decided that I am not allowed to from greatsword to hand axe without using my action, correct?
No, I think that takes a
Free action usually.
free
to
action.
swap.
Yeah, to swap weapons.
Okay, then I am gonna go my 30 feet
Okay.
and throw a hand
10,
axe.
15, 20, 25, 30. Can I put you there? Does that look okay? You're like 2 like 10 feet from Druge underneath him. That'll give you a clear shot.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Basically, the thought is they're like, you get a free action every turn, but you don't get 9 free actions every turn.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds great. All right, I'm gonna throw the thing.
Do it up.
16.
That hits.
Yay! 1d6 plus 4. That'd be 8 points of damage.
Nice.
So,
And then I'm just gonna keep giggling to myself, thinking about my friend webbed to the floor.
Okay.
It's all rude.
Were you
Man,
giggling
struggle
this
here. I'm
whole
stuck
time?
in spider juice.
You're just like hee hee hee, throw axe, hee hee hee. So the hand axe hits the spider dead between the eyes, and it falls to the ground and like spasms, and it is super dead.
Great.
Nice.
Well done, guys. You solved my spider puzzle. Murdered. I have to
We are
write
good at
dead all
puzzles.
over the place
When
you
they
guys do
attack
that,
us,
so
it goes okay.
yeah.
No, this is fine.
Right, can
Okay.
someone help me get these bully juice groceries off me?
I'll walk over and pull a knife out and start giving him a hand.
Well,
I'll
they're
walk
doing
over
that.
and clap more.
I missed that. Tech, what did you say?
That's rude.
I'm just gonna walk over to the spider and yank the 2 hand axes out of it, and like he'll like clip his back onto his belt and generally toss Marthala's back in her direction. Like, nice.
And Quentin will shout out like, "Don't mess it up too much. We might be able to get some good stuff out of it."
Oh God, are you?
Hopefully,
gonna
I
do
catch
that?
my hand axe.
I'm gonna say you do.
Do what?
Yeah, it's not an aggressive toss.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there anything that Quentin? Did we get Brandon out yet?
So you have to.
You said it was a DC.
12.
So Brandon has to make a DC 12
Yeah.
strength check, or you can attack the webbing. It's vulnerable to fire damage, but it's immune to bludgeoning, poison, and psychic.
I'd use like a hunting knife and try and cut him out.
Okay.
Neither piercing or slashing, so you're fine.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna make you roll for this. I think you
Okay.
just it takes a little bit, and there's some swearing involved, but it happens.
Yeah.
I think the DCs and ACs there for like if you try and cut him out
During
mid-combat.
combat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. What else you guys do?
Is there
Thanks,
anything?
Mike.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the heal in there, and kind of like I'm doing it, but you can't see me. I just put like kind of a little finger to the forehead, so thingy. And walk over and start looking at the spider. Is there anything I can harvest off of this, like venom sacs or any useful webbing or anything like that?
Dude, I don't know.
Okay. If there's nothing, if not, then there's not.
Can I
Make a
I mean,
nature check to try.
I guess you could. Yeah, go ahead and do
Get
that.
some spider meat.
do I notice any signs of fatigue or anything like that on Brandon?
Oh yeah, probably a bunch. I forget how much damage you took.
If
Quite a
he's,
lot.
if he's looking rough, then I'm just kind of gonna nudge him with an elbow and hand him the healing potion that I got.
Cool.
We are not in combat, so I rolled an 18 plus 2.
Of course.
So I will remind you that you don't have a way to preserve any of this because you're not playing that other character that does this kind of thing.
That's fine. That character doesn't have that yet anyway.
What are you trying to do?
If it looks like it has any poison or anything like that, I would just be trying to gather materials so we could make antidotes. If we run into more of these, was kind of my idea. But if it doesn't look like there's that, then I wouldn't worry about it.
You don't have a way of making antidotes. Like,
Great.
That's not a skill that you have.
You wouldn't know how to
Itself.
make an antidote.
Gotcha. Or hold on to someone to make an antidote. But yeah, if it's good, then I'm good. All right.
With a dirty 20, which I think is what you rolled, like you could
Yep.
milk some of the venom
Ew.
but like I don't think you have any glass jars to put it in.
That's a good point.
And yeah.
Okay.
Pocket.
Just slurp it into my pocket. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean,
Mike, quit trying
I
to milk
do
that
have a
spider.
water-
Why don't you go look at the other ones?
Yeah, no, I don't have any.
Brandon, do you use
Anything.
that health potion?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm gonna drink that right up.
That's 2d4 plus 2, and that's used. So
Is that
Erase it
a
or whatever.
vessel I could squeeze any of that into then?
yeah, I guess, but it's like a little test tube. It's not
Sure.
very
Yeah,
big.
it's fine.
Can
If
I
it comes
get-
in handy, it does. If not, then we'll forget about it in 2 weeks.
Can get some poison arrows, my dude.
Ah. Would that work, DM? If I could dip poison arrows in it, like within the next 2 hours or something?
I mean, I don't know.
Holy crap! I have no idea how to do that.
I think there's up.
I mean, you could just give him like a D4 poison damage.
Not worried
No,
about
but
it.
the thing is like what I'm thinking is the reason I'm like I don't know how to do that is like in some of the podcasts that I've listened to, like there is a way to do that, but there's like rolls involved and stuff. So I
Oh yeah, so that
If
he
you're
can
trying
have,
to like craft long-term poison arrows, yeah.
As opposed
yeah,
to just
and I
dip
think
it
if you just dip it, it lasts for like what
that
like
fight
20 minutes
or an hour or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
yeah,
it would, and like you'd have to use, like you can't just stand there and dip arrows and then shoot them. Like that's
Right.
You know, like
Okay. Not worried about it.
But
More of a chance of
turns to shoot
infection.
an arrow.
I also feel like I should make that work. I don't know how to off the top of my head, and I've had a really like weird day, so I'm not able to like.
We're also level 1. I'm not
Improv
super
right
worried
now.
about it.
Why don't we say you do take the poison with you in a
Okay.
little vial, and
Sounds
I'll
good.
say it's like a shot's worth.
Okay. That actually makes sense for how
Shot,
small
shot,
that potion
shot,
is.
shot.
Yeah. Great. Thank you.
9 points of
And
damage.
you heal 9 points of damage. Justice, you healed 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Well done. And it's just, and you're okay with Quentin being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna borrow that, and putting poison in it, right? Like you're cool.
Oh, that's.
I chugged it and tossed it.
Good.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Poison done. Cool. Great. What
Thanks
next?
to Angel Face, that feels much better.
Does it look like there's any more activity in the room?
Well, there are those 5 cocoons, 2 of which are
No more spiders.
suspiciously human shaped. Not that you can see, but why don't you roll a perception check?
Sure. Wait. No,
Which
the other
two
one.
on the map are the human-shaped ones?
Perception, you said?
It's an excellent question
That is a 12.
that I would theoretically know the answer to.
That's a
You do not
12.
see any more spiders.
Cool.
Aha.
But you know, if there's one, there's like 20 more hanging out.
So I'm gonna put Marthala next to one of the ones with bodies, and Geth next to the other one that's a body. There.
We should clear
Does
these
it
out.
look like it's breathing?
It does not.
I take it it's like it's a cocoon, right?
Yep, it is a cocoon.
Cocoon like wrapped up in spider web.
Yeah, like it's a web cocoon.
I would like to start cutting through it very gently.
The other ones that aren't people, can I see like any distinct shape to them, or is it just like a standard cocoon?
There is no distinct shape.
Okay.
They look
Yeah,
about
just
half the
need to
size
know.
of the humanoid-shaped ones, or
Oh,
at least
half
the
the size,
largest
okay.
humanoid-shaped one.
Okay.
But you can't quite see.
Okay.
Marthala,
Good to know.
yeah, you go ahead and cut down your dude.
Your dude.
And what you're seeing here, and it takes you a little while. Like I'm gonna say, it takes you like 20 minutes of like really digging at this webbing because it's really thick, and it's really dusty in here, and that's like
If it's taking that
congealing
long,
on the web.
Bruges would come help.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you get this one down, and it is a. Oh, I'm gonna say
Another
human because
spider.
I can't remember what this person is. He looks like he's wearing a he's definitely dead. He's like super dead. He's like gross dead, like little squishy. He's wearing what looks like a uniform, and it looks very similar. Like you feel like you've seen this before. Can you roll a history check?
History?
No.
Yeah, I can do that.
Intelligence
For like a memory?
Like a memory, like.
Be like investigation.
16.
I would say.
Intelligence? Just
Great.
intelligence?
16
Oh.
grounds sounds great. This looks exactly like the uniform that the lady that sent you down here was wearing. Like one of the City Watch uniforms.
Yeah, like the lady that was at the door on the thing. Yeah.
What do you do next?
She did mention the lieutenant was
Check
down
pockets.
Okay. So in this dude's pocket, you find like a little leather wallet that's got like an ID card in it, because I want that to be true, that says
Sure.
Constable Boot on it. You also find a flask of holy water and another potion of healing.
Interesting.
Well, potion of healing, I'm gonna just keep to myself for the time being. The holy water and the wallet, I'll probably walk over to Relic and say, "Well, at least we can lay his soul to rest. Here you go."
What? Thank you.
Now, the flask
Thank
of
you.
holy water, it costs about 25 gold points. As an action, you can splash. You can probably find this in your.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yep, I
card
got it
barrel.
pulled up
Yeah,
here.
but I'm gonna say it out loud to the stream because I'm sure that of the 5 viewers we have, they're not all you. So as an action, you can slash the contents of this flask onto a creature within 5 feet of you, or throw it up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. In either case, you make a ranged attack against a target creature. You treat the holy water as an improvised weapon. If the target is a fiend or undead, it takes 2d6 radiant damage. And then there's some stuff about creating it, but who cares? I'm just kidding. Clerics can create this, by the way, Guess.
Ooh.
Oh, so Relic can just make it himself.
Right, I could, but we got
Yeah.
this one, so we don't need more.
that
Let's not
that
be
cleric
greedy.
there, yeah.
We don't need to ask the gods too much. They get tired of hearing from us.
What about the other cocoon that Geth is working on?
Yeah,
Can you
Geth
go-
would be standing back, casting Sacred Flame on it, a whole bunch, burning it with fire.
Okay. All right.
Okay, if you
Yoga
do that,
fire. Yoga
it's
fire.
gonna light the contents on fire as well.
Yep.
Well, too late.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
Oh.
I'm making notes. That's all I'm doing. I'm just writing things down. I like to write things down, guys.
Sure.
Make a
Now-
dexterity save.
Now I'm looking at what could happen here. Yeah, make a dex save.
He had gunpowder on him.
So you,
The 17.
how much damage does Sacred Flame do? Like, is it radiant
It's,
damage or fire damage?
It's
It's a cantrip, right?
yeah, it's a cantrip. It's I think it is technically radiant damage, but it's like a flame-like
is,
radiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's radiant damage. I think it's 1d8.
Basically lasers.
So lasers. Okay.
Basically.
So what I want you to do is make a dex check to see if you're going to be able to catch what falls
But
down.
it's like
Hmm.
Oh,
holy
It was a
And I'll say
seven.
it's a 17.
Mhm.
All right. So you catch this smaller humanoid shape, and I'll say the webbing, instead of like melting, is sort of like withering away from the sacred flame, and so it sort of like peels back away from what ends up being a kobold. Now, most of the kobold that you're familiar with are savage little things with like sharp sticks, and they build weird traps and, you know, mutter unintelligently. This one actually has little glasses on its nose, like smushed into its nose, and
Aw.
looks to be wearing like an explorer's outfit. What do you do next?
Is it alive?
No, super dead.
Okay.
Not because
yeah.
of the sacred flame.
Fire,
It has been
else.
long dead before that.
Are they? They're
Not
pretty
a good
small, right?
first impression.
Yeah, they're about. Oh God, now I have to remember all of your races. What's a Geth again? A dwarf?
He's a human.
Human. Crap. Okay, so he's about half your size. The kobold is.
All right, I just kind of grab him by the scruff of the collar of the shirt and just kind of pick him up, like turn him to the rest of the group. This one's we got a kobold over.
Oh, so Quentin will walk over and I can't remember if I tossed that finger down or not. Walk over. I'm looking for a missing finger of some sort.
Gross, dude.
Okay.
Super gross.
Well, I found the ring on a finger
I
from the
know
rat.
you did, and you never looked at. Let me see. I
did.
gotta look back through my notes.
Okay.
Well,
Mate,
it says
why you
so.
been carrying a finger around in your pocket?
I think I tossed the finger in the trap room, but I still have the ring. I know for sure.
Yeah,
but-
you have the ring.
Obviously, if I don't have a finger, they'd still be missing one. So I'm just looking.
Sure, that's true. Give me 1 second. Where did you find that again?
From the rat.
Well,
Cuffed
yeah.
up the rat
Yeah.
cat.
Right.
Coughed one up.
Cuffed up from the rat.
Yes, he is missing a finger.
The kobold or the human?
The human.
The human is missing a finger. Oh.
So I'll pull the ring out and kind of compare it with like any emblems on his arm or anything. Does this look like a guard ring or is like
Go
a family?
ahead. And, fuck it. Inside the ring is etched the name Burton Boot.
Oh, okay. Well, we've been busy. I
Oh,
haven't had a chance to look yet.
Oh, that matches the thing, the ID, right?
Yep. It was this guy.
But the kobold had it on his finger,
No.
right?
No, it was a human finger.
So, okay, just to recap. Quentin found a finger with a ring on it in, like a rat coughed it up before it died in the very first chamber. And he kind of
Gross.
hung on to it. He used it in one of the trap rooms to see if he could trigger a trap. But he kept the ring. He was looking at the deceased human, even though we started talking about the kobold because, you know,
Sorry.
he hates continuity and all things good in the world. And was looking for a finger on the dead human. There is a missing finger on the dead human. The ring says Burton Boot inside.
Gotcha.
The wallet says Constable Yander Boot.
Oh.
The end. Now back to the kobold. Geth has held up the kobold and been like, dead kobold.
Right, I'm gonna lay him down and
Go lay him down.
say, "Sorry, friend,"
Is
and then I'm just gonna
is the
kinda go
kobold like carrying anything?
Hang on, Geth, what did you say near the end there?
Oh, I just lay him down and say, "Sorry, friend," and then I'm just gonna start going through it.
Great. You find... Oh, notes. Everybody. You find a vial of acid, a flask of alchemist's fire, and a vial of antitoxin. Speaking of antitoxins.
Well,
The acid you can splash under a creature within 5 feet of you or throw the vial up to 20 feet, shattering on impact. You make a ranged attack. You treat the acid as an improvised weapon. On a hit, the target takes 2d6 acid damage. The flask of alchemist's fire is a sticky adhesive fluid. It ignites when it's exposed to air. So again, you can throw it up to 20 feet. You can't toss it, right? Like onto someone, like the acid or the holy water, right? Because it'll just
Yeah.
ignite. So you
I have to throw the vial.
yeah, you have to toss the flask. It'll shatter on impact. You make a ranged attack, improvised weapon, blah, blah, blah. On a hit, the target takes 1d4 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The creature can end this damage by using an action to make a DC 10 dex check to extinguish the flames.
Just yeet that at people. It's fine.
Stop, drop, and roll.
Did you just say yeet that at people?
Sure
Yeah.
did.
Sure did.
What does yeet mean?
It's
It's
like when
20
you
or
throw
I
something.
have a video to show you.
I'm so
Yeah.
old.
Yes.
none of this newfangled language. Let's stick with the classics. You know, we got a clickety clackety roll to attackety.
Yeah,
Close.
I'm with Marthala there.
Well, I reckon we should check these other lumps of webbing, don't you, ladies and gents?
Oh, I forgot to tell you what the toxin does. You have advantage on saving throws against poison for 1 hour.
Are these in the items, like in the potions?
It should be.
Like on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, on D&D Beyond.
Acid
Yeah.
and stuff definitely is. Let me see if I could find him.
I'm pretty sure they are because they're showing little symbols in the D&D Beyond book for this module.
Yep. There's antitoxin.
Like I didn't make up any of these items. They should all be in D&D Beyond.
Yeah. I even found the acid from the spider in there, which I sent to you. Yeah, alchemist fire in a flask. Yeah, and there's rules for all of it in there too, babe.
Oh, great.
And then acid was the last one. Yeah, so you can do an acid vial, a flask of alchemist fire, and then antitoxin. They're all in there. You can add them to your inventory.
Cool.
Under manage equipment.
And please do that because I am not going to remember your crap for you. If in 2 weeks you're like, do I have an antitoxin vial? I can't find it in my inventory. I'm going to shrug silently at you and be like, Moo.
And they have the rules for how to use it and the dice rolls and all that all linked in it, which is really nice.
I will remember none of that for you.
D&D Beyond is great.
Terrible DM. Okay.
Hashtag not sponsored.
What else do you guys do?
Right
yeah,
then.
I think I'd help just kind of looking at the other ones with whoever suggested that.
I think we should
Yeah,
probably.
I'm gonna walk over together.
Light these up too. Yeah.
Like the other ones?
Yeah.
All right. So, Geth, are you going to burn down the rest of them?
Yep.
Okay. So you cut down the other 3, and the webbing is sort of going to like wither away from the things within. And
Is it rats?
You find 3 rats, yeah, and they are
rats.
not green,
Okay.
but they are also all squishy dead. These have all been dead for a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Mm-hmm.
Right then, does
Nothing in the room?
the cavern keep going, or is there a door or anything?
Oh yeah, let me. Shoop. Cavern keeps going.
Cool.
Shoop-a-doo.
Sure.
I think the front of that was cut off. What did you say?
I just said adventure. Let's
Adventure.
go.
All right, you guys gonna head out?
All we heard was sure.
See, I thought I heard
Yeah, that's what I meant.
charge.
Yeah,
I mean, we can.
Leroy James.
No.
Okay, so you guys
Like
are
to
gonna
raid?
head out.
Before. So
Yeah.
we just see the cavern continue on.
Yep.
Ahead.
What is the current lighting situation, out of curiosity?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It's dark. I've mostly been ignoring that, but I can pay attention.
Let's say
to it
I
if you
cast light
want.
on my sword again.
Yeah, I feel like.
Oh, you did have light cast on your sword when we came
Yeah.
green too. So
Cool.
Oh,
that
okay.
tracks.
Before we continue on here, mates, you mind if I give something a little shot?
Sure.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna cast up a minor illusion of us as a party and send it
Nice.
ahead of us.
Oh, interesting.
I'll kind of
Ooh,
tap you
nice.
on the back at like between the shoulder blades, like clever, and follow our lead on.
How far ahead does this illusion and like how illusiony is this? Do they walk or is it just like a still picture of you guys like moving? ahead of
Floating,
you?
just-
Yeah.
No, it's I can do basically my imagination is
A wild thing.
but I can do vision or sound. Oh no, sound or an image of an object. Damn it, that's not what I thought.
Oh.
I'm still okay with you doing the image. I just want to know.
An image of an object.
Minor illusion.
Oh, if it's an image of an object, can you not do people?
Yeah, such as a chair, muddy footprints, small chest within a
Okay.
5 foot cube.
Yeah, that
Black.
might be major illusion.
It's a good,
Good
idea,
idea,
though.
though. Yeah.
Well, then I'm gonna do the sound in just
Okay.
it can be your voice, and I'm gonna just amplify my voice down through the cavern. You great bolly spiders! If any more of you hanging out in there, why don't you go ahead and stick your furry faces out so my girl here can stick an axe in it?
Nice.
Are you signing me up to kill spiders now?
Yes.
Okay, so that echoes down.
The Lord don't want us to get eaten and
No,
The
I'm just
floor.
imagining Brannon as like, what's that guy's name that was Mike Tyson's fight promoter? Like walking around, like doing a fight promotion. She's like in the corner with a hood overhead, like shadow boxing.
Geth is getting ready
It's like
sacred.
Arachnophobia, the final scene where they walk in.
Oh,
Oh, that sounds very gross.
Sorry, what'd you say, Geth?
Readying sacred flame, just in case.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Um,
Quentin's gonna kind of try and lead like 10 feet ahead, checking.
Did the loud voice produce any
Oh, sorry.
noises or anything visible that we could see or hear?
It produces an echo, I think. Although I'm a little fuzzy on how illusionary sounds work, but I'm gonna say it echoes a bunch. You hear a little bit of rumbling from behind you when the sound moves past you because, like, that maze you just stepped out of is still a bit unstable, so we'll see whether or not you've blocked
But no-
yourself off from an entrance. But no spiders.
The skittering of spiders.
Nope, no skittering.
All right then.
if Quentin's gonna be ahead, Rouge will be right behind him.
Got it.
I'm gonna be safely in the middle of this here pack of pigs.
Sure.
I'm just trying to scout ahead to like give advance warning if anything tries to jump us.
All right, you guys ready for the next map?
Yeah.
Bring
Good
it
thing.
on.
Oh,
Your
I
face
have
will take all comers.
You've really got a
Foghorn,
stop that.
which I
I
don't.
just want to take a
want
second and appreciate how our polite our DM is. It's like, are you ready to die now? Or like, are you ready for the next map?
Hey.
No. As
That's
opposed to
not
just like,
what
oh, you're in the
I'm
next.
Ready
doing.
to rumble.
No, you're being like super polite.
Okay, so Quentin was going first. Stop that.
To my doom.
Oh, is this player's map or master's map? Master's map. Druge is after. Martha's probably next to Druge. Relic's in the middle. Brandel and Gath are in the back.
Sounds right.
All right. Let me take a gander at my notes for the next room real quick. Why don't we take a 5-minute break?
Great.
Sure.
Great.
I'll go
More
get
bourbon.
water.
Okay.
Water.
Stream. We will be taking a break. We will be back in 5 minutes exactly. So,
Okay.
all right. See you in a bit. Feel free to ask questions in the channel. I'm going to hang out. See you in a bit. Mute. Family Man here is testing the limits of the rules I set up in Streamlabs, or in Twitch, rather. No, did I set up in Streamlabs or Twitch?
Probably.
Probably. Yes. Yes. And I'm highly
Which one?
amused by
Yes.
it. Yes, both. Yes. Okay. You guys ready for the next bit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do the bit.
Let's do it.
The passage widens into a natural cavern dotted with stalactites and stalagmites. I want you to imagine that all the little rocks that you see on the ground are stalagmites, and I want none of you to make fun of me about this.
Yeah, that's great. Sure.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that because any one of them could be a roper.
Oh.
What?
We're level 1.
You're
Please,
fired.
God, no.
Yeah.
A very
Uh,
terrifying monster that
tiny
looks like
roper.
like
How do you spell
Like a
that?
baby roper.
R-O-P-E-R.
No reason. Roper. Got it. Terrifying. Good. The passage widens into a natural cavern dotted with stalactites and stalagmites. It continues on to the northeast, but the uneven walls make it hard to see into that section, even as heap of bones and gear is plainly visible. And I forgot to mark it on the map. Map. Give map. We'll say that there's a heap right here.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Heap of bones and gears, plainly visible.
Gears
What?
or gear?
No zats. Gear.
Just making
Oh,
sure.
okay, how's the gears?
They were engineer spiders.
Was looking for something for that.
Can everybody roll a perception
bit.
check?
Oh,
I would love literally nothing else.
All right, Chris
I'm
Trigger.
going to make this
You
pipe.
said perception?
I did.
Ah,
Put that shit that way.
Because that would be an 11?
18.
6.
14.
10.
My
23.
perception
Oh my
is...
god, you guys are so fast. Ugh.
I think I'm the one that's like only 11. Everyone else is like...
Okay, one more
9.
time. Okay, who rolled over a 14?
Quentin.
Rouge did.
I rolled a 14.
Okay, anybody else?
Rouge.
No, I
And
got
Quentin.
that. Quentin. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
So
Okay.
Drish, Quentin, Marthala.
Okay, so
The people in
ironically
front,
enough,
yeah.
the people in front see.
A heap.
Will you just?
Sorry.
Oh, can I not move this? That's really annoying. Now can I move it?
A beeping heap.
Oh, I can't move it. That's not gonna work for me. Can I delete it?
Abort.
Yes. Give me 1 second. I need another thingy.
No problem.
I need like one of these, and I need like a person. Fuck it. We're gonna have this.
We have imaginations.
be what I want it to be. Yeah. Is that too similar to the rock?
Nah, I'm good.
Smell what it's cooking.
Okay. The three of you see a goblin standing
Oh.
behind a rock. Can you three roll a insight check?
14 again.
Did you say 18?
I think she said 14.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 13 for
Okay.
Quentin.
Drew?
12 for Druge.
You can all tell that he is watching you fearfully. He does not look like he's going to attack. He's sort of cowering behind a smaller stalagmite. He's trying to hide himself, but when he dodges over to the left, like you can more clearly see him, and then he's sort of dodging over to the right to hide himself from you, but then he seems more frightened, so he goes back to the left side of this little stalagmite, and like he seems very afraid.
Lots of bobbing and weaving happening.
What do you guys do?
Nobody else sees this yet?
Nope, the three of the rest of you. I'm playing this like they're a little around the corner,
Okay.
and you guys are a little behind this like curve here.
Yeah, I'm just looking at stalactites.
Ooh, this one's quartz.
I'm gonna make sure my sword is up, and just sort of casually move in that direction.
Are you making it clear at all that you can see him?
No, I just sort of strolling.
Like
Does
not
the
looking.
move...
I mean, if those two are both strolling, Druge will kind of whisper over his shoulder, there's a goblin back there, and it's trying to hide, and it's not very good at it.
And Quentin will kind of be like, guys, he looks really scared. Maybe just hold off for a second. Do you want? I mean, I can go talk to him, but you know,
Goblin too.
as Luth nervously thinks about every role he's had this campaign.
All
So
right.
if nobody stops me, I guess I'll start like cautiously walking forward, like hands out, be like, hey, buddy, you okay? And like,
So he
maybe
he steps forward
40
really
feet
quickly.
away. Yeah.
He steps forward really quickly, and he emerges from behind a stalagmite, and he brandishes a gnarled piece of bleached wood at you, and he says, "I am a powerful wizard. My wand annihilates all those who make me uptight. Go away. Leave Gorko alone. And there's no annihilate. Gorko is merciful." And he thrust his wand several times in your direction, like.
Do I believe that it's a wand? Like, does it look anything like a wand?
Roll me an insight check.
Okay.
Does get see
Sure. Yeah.
Corner yet? Do we see
Quentin,
this happening?
Quentin, watch out!
You said insight. Again, not in combat yet. 16.
Yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, so not only do you know that it's probably like it's not that you could tell it's not a wand, but you could tell he's bluffing. And
Got it. Yeah.
And you can also see that he is fucking terrified. Like, this dude has seen some shit and he is very upset about it.
Got it. Like, Gorko, thank you for being so merciful. Maybe in your wisdom you could help us, and we could maybe help you in return.
Oh, okay. And he puts his wand in his pocket. He like slides it into his belt, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Yep. Hi,
Amazing.
I'm Gorko."
Meepo 2.0.
Shut up.
How old is this goblin looking? Is he?
He looks fairly young for a goblin, but he's beat up. Like, he's taken some damage.
Wow, friend, you really had us going there.
He sort of like plops down on the ground and is like sort of he backs up so that he's sort of blocked from view from ahead in the cavern, and sort of like gestures you guys over, like, come here.
So I'll kind of like motion for everybody to like very gently come over.
Okay.
I would like to do a perception check and see if there is a trap somewhere being laid
Yeah,
for it.
around here.
Is
Do
there
it
a
up.
net or a cage of some sort?
Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Quinn just does the introductions. You guys figure the rest out.
7. 7.
You don't notice anything.
17.
So
Death would walk up.
Brandon, you don't recognize anything out of the ordinary. Druge, you like some of the stalagmites are snapped off like deeper into the cavern, but things seem more undisturbed here in this little corner.
That's probably fine.
Okay, what do you guys do next?
I'll just kind of I'll kind of like elbow Brandon.
I'd walk up.
Hey there, mate. Are we about the same height?
Yep.
How long you been living in this here cavern here?
And he like scoffs at you like, "Oh, I don't live here. I'm just here with my master."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Quinn's instantly nervous.
We came down here. He's looking for a lost shrine, but we got separated. There's a big critter up the way, so we got separated, and he'll be back for me. And he sort of like looks really nervous, and he's
no.
like, he'll be back. And he
Is-
sort of looks at the ground, and he's like, he'll be back for me. I know.
Is
Oh,
your
no.
master? He's a.
No.
Is he a kobold by chance?
And he says, no, he's a human, and he rescued me, and he's teaching me magic. And he gestures at his wand.
Oh my god, he's so cute.
Yeah, mate. You might want to just stay with us. How about we go find your master together? Which way do you go?
He's sort of like rubbing his hands nervously, and he said it's less of a like trying to fool you, and more of like trying to reassure himself, like he wouldn't leave me here. He'll come back. He'll come. Maybe I should wait here for him.
Of course he'll be back. My dear, you look a little hungry. Are you hungry?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
Yes. Oh, it must be. Oh, I Gorko doesn't tell time really well. That's more Karen's thing to do. I don't know, but I'm so hungry.
I'm gonna give him some of my rations.
And so he reaches out like he's gonna snatch them, and then he puts his arms down and he says, "Be polite," like to himself, like he's reminding himself.
Oh my goodness.
And then he holds out his hands
We're keeping him.
and waits for you to put the rations in his hands, and then he kind of like pulls it to his chest, but then he can't restrain himself anymore, and he's just like, and like the rations are
And I'll hand him my water skin too, and let him.
the same thing. He like goes to lunge for it, and then he stops himself. You can see his lips be like, "Be polite," and he like takes it, and he like nods weirdly at you, like he's trying to like nod graciously, but like how does a goblin do that? And he drinks some. And, like, you can tell he's gulping it, and then he stops himself, and he's like, and he says, "Gorko thinks."
Oh my goodness, it's the cutest thing ever.
And he's wiping his mouth with the back of his hand, and he says, "You guys are so nice. I thank you so much. Would you be able to help me find my master?"
Of course we can.
He's looking for this relic. Do you know about this relic?
I know a relic, and I point at it.
Hey there, Angel Face. I'm not that old yet.
And he said, Gorko just looks really confused.
So does Marthala.
And
Now,
he says,
mate, what
no.
kind of relic were you looking for here?
He says, and he looks like he's thinking really hard, like it's on the tip of his tongue. And then he, like, the next second just, it's some old broken, like, clock thing. I think it killed the rest of my master's party. I think that's why we have to come find it. He wants to destroy it. I'm gonna help him, because he's been teaching me magic. And he gestures very grandly at his wand again.
Right. Mate, you might want to stay close. Can you point us in the direction of this here shrine that your master went after?
Well, it's that way. And he points deeper into the cavern, and he goes, but there's also a monster that way. That's how me and my master got separated.
What kind of monster are we talking about here?
You know, what I'm realizing is I was really excited that you can just click on stuff, and it tells you things. Oh, there it is.
That's not good.
Oh, I have to download
Oh, I'm gonna
something.
die.
Son of a bitch. Let me download something.
So we're level 2 now, right?
Talk amongst yourself. No, you're not a level 2 yet. I have a very, like, numbers in my head thing. But if you keep
Okay.
asking about it, it'll take longer. I'm just
No
kidding.
tech, we are
That would
not
be
there
really-
yet.
Want
Okay.
Stuff, okay?
Same dude.
He looks like he's thinking really hard, and he goes, "Oh, do you know what a centipede?
Centipede.
Centipede. Yeah, you know what a centipede is?
Yes.
It's like that,
Oh my
only it's
God.
like, and he stretches his arms out as far as he can go and like waves them, and he's like really big.
I might have to change my ranger companion, babe.
To what?
To a goblin.
Gorkle!
He's so cute.
So
I'm not serious,
I
but
can't.
I am.
I can't. Like some of this is in the book, and some of it's like me making it up. So I gotta try really hard to make sure that I remember some of the stunts I pulled with you guys, so I can like his like character. So
Good thing it's
he
recorded.
says, yeah, it's really, really big. It's got, and he wiggles his arms around, like waving them in the air. He's like, but it's got like, and then he like makes big chomping motions with his arms, and it goes, ow, ow, and I'm sorry about the clapping. I bet that was really loud. And
no, it compressed fine.
and he's like, and my master and I got separated, and so I could see him run further in, and I've been here for forever, and I've been thinking, but I think it'll eat me, so I can't go by myself. But you guys said you'd help me.
So your master went further into the mine.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I think we can help with that, right, everyone?
With what?
I'm like nodding very
With
emphatically.
We can take him with us.
Anybody
Child.
roll a nature check that wants to see if they know what this is?
For sure.
Sure. Absolutely.
No.
Nature, that's a 16 for me.
12.
Brandel.
Point.
I don't think I know anything about nature.
Not my thing.
No.
I mean,
Brandel-
I'm
I tend not to
sure
roll
both
on
ones
stuff
are
if I'm not
here.
Brandel, you oddly know exactly what this is. You know that is a large monstrosity. You know that it is often referred to as a carrion crawler.
No.
Okay. All right. Uh-huh.
It's a big bad. It is described as like it scours putrid flesh from carcasses and gobbles the slimy bones that remain. They aggressively attack any creature that trespasses on their territory or disturbs their feasting.
Interesting.
Right.
It's gross.
It's
Do you
like
share that?
a centipede.
You gonna share that with the rest of the class?
I'll wait. I'll wait. No, not for now. Not for now.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
You're
I'm
not
assuming Quinn
telling
didn't figure anything out with the 12.
So, Gorko looks a little concerned and he says, well, if you're gonna help me, I have been thinking about this. And he like taps his head. He says, Gorko knows stuff. So he leads you out into the cavern a little bit to about there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me move your map so you can follow along. And so you guys all follow him up this way. And he points to where the cavern narrows.
Ooh.
And he says, do you see that there? And he points up. And he points at the stalactites up above. And he says, those, I think, are very breakable. Very breakable, very breakable. Easy to break those. And it's really narrow for it, right? Like it's huge. It could squeeze through there, but it has to like squeeze through there. So what if we got it there and then drop all the sharp rocks on it? That'll work, right?
That's a very good idea, Gorgo. I love it. Let's try it.
So that's the area
I
he's talking
think that-
about.
Point. We take a look at this pile of bones over here before we go on in, though. See if there's anything of use there.
Sure.
I wouldn't mind taking a bit of a rest first before we start. Well,
You think that this is a good place to do that?
I mean, back towards where we came in, but yeah, better than.
Gorgle's been here,
It's true.
That is true.
unmolested.
I suppose we could wait here for a bit.
So you guys are gonna check out the pile of junk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Marthala is gonna do her best to entertain Gorkle away from the corpse. Get out.
It's less corpse, right? Like this is a.
It's still a giant pile of bones, and she looks at him and
Nope.
sees a kid, so she's not gonna allow that to happen.
Yeah, there's Okay, swear to God, I read the stuff. Here it is. Okay, so there's bones and like armor and gear. And it looks like a group of adventurers who fell victim to this creature months ago, and like all of the flesh is stripped off, and like the bones are all cracked, and like it's all just sort of like regurgitated back here. There's a backpack and a belt pouch that holds 47 gold, and a large polished red garnet that's worth about 50 gold. Sticking out of the pile of bones is a longsword, and the hilt of the sword is fashioned like a skeletal hand, and there's a skull and bones motif as like a prominent design in the weapon.
Metal as fuck. Great.
And you said there was a garnet?
Yep, big old polished garnet.
I'm gonna grab that one.
Brandel grabs the garnet.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, does he?
Uh-oh.
Here we go!
All right, who's grabbing what? I'll put it that way.
I went to check it out.
Why don't we have you both
Sleight
roll
of hand.
a dex contest to see who grabs it first?
You know what? Sure.
And Tech, longsword's not a finesse weapon, is it?
Just.
It is not. It's a strength weapon.
Just the d20 plus my dex?
Yep.
That's 17.
Would you get, Brandon?
Could I try and slide a hand in?
Sure. Yeah. Are you trying to see if you can hide it before he even sees it?
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, sure.
So, Brandel, roll a perception check.
Okay. Oh, that is not good. Perception. That is 10.
What'd you roll for your slide?
14.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
fuck, okay.
Brandon
sure.
does sneak that out from under you.
Interesting.
So would any of us see that with like passive perception?
Yeah, you rolled a 14. Does anybody have a higher than 14 passive perception?
I do.
I do, but I'm not looking.
Okay, so Guess probably sees it.
I'm not gonna say anything, but I see it.
Yeah, Quentin wasn't even paying attention. He's more worried about trying to find like a little picnic spot.
Picnic
What else
spot.
did you say was in there? You said the garnet and
47 gold and a longsword.
so as I palm the garnet, wink at Geff and point out the oh look mate, there's 47 gold here. How about we split this up amongst ourselves?
Does he just like fingers in the air? 47 gold.
Definitely 47.
It looks like about 47. Exactly.
Yeah, there's a pile of
47.
gold here, mate. Here, how about we don't split this up here amongst ourselves?
There's 6 of you, right?
Yeah.
So that gives each of you 7 gold.
Like 7 gold.
Outright.
I'll hold on to
7
my
gold.
fellas.
And then there's 5 gold left over.
Do we want to just give it to the goblin?
I'm gonna have to build
I'll
a
hold on to
character sheet
his
for this
too.
thing, aren't you? So Relic keeps, or Brandon keeps his Marthala's plus the 5 extra for the goblin.
Oh, I don't know if that goes over well with the party or
What
not.
does the party think?
I'll just kind of side-eye him and be like, yeah, I can do math, buddy.
Is any
And just kind of like more of a like, sure, but we can count.
How stealthily is this happening? Or, like, is it just a pile that he's reaching into and doling out, or is this like him counting everything out and then doling?
I don't know. What you doing, Brandon?
I'm gonna very loudly and very obviously count out the gold. I'm gonna split it 6 ways, and then I'm going to take 2 piles and put them in my pocket. To you.
So you each take your share, and then there's 5 left over.
Okay.
And I believe Relic probably says something like, I can hold on to that.
the 5 extra, yeah. I figure,
Let's start
we
a
use
party fund.
Party debts or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bribe a god, maybe.
Yeah, I approve of this. We each have our own spending money, and then start building a party fund. And then when we're done, we can split it 6 ways and go on our happy way.
All right.
Okay, who's gonna hang
Sounds
on
good
to
enough to me.
the party money?
Yeah, I got this. I'll stay at the back mostly anyway. Y'all fighting up against the front. You're liable to lose it. So I'll hold on to it.
As long as you don't go popping off anywhere.
Oh, you can trust me. I'm a man of the cloth.
All of a sudden.
While all this
yeah.
is happening, Marthala is trying to teach the goblin how to do like patty cake. Like
Oh, he
15
is
feet away.
into this.
Geth
Like,
is also over there.
Yeah, like he is like painfully happy someone's paying attention to him. Like this poor little guy, like he's been terrified and on edge, and all of a sudden he's surrounded by all these like very tough, like capable looking critters. Like he's awestruck by Drush, and Marthala is just so beautiful, and she's being nice to me. Like he's like almost puppyish in his excitement.
Geth is gonna walk up and talk to him and say, "You remind me of somebody very dear."
And he says, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, could I see your wand for a second?
And he like pulls it out of his belt, and he sort of like clutches it to his chest, and he said, "My master gave this to me."
This looks like a very, very powerful wand.
And he goes, "It is." And he like holds it out, and he's like, "Do you want to see it?" So like first he's like really like, "No," and then you compliment it, and he's immediately like, "Oh, look."
I touch it, the tip of it, and I cast light on it, so it starts glowing.
Awesome.
He freaks out. He's like, guys, look what I did. He's like screeching.
And I give it back to him, and it's like, "Go ahead and test it out." And I point over to a direction opposite of that.
So he points it.
And then I make a little crack sound happen across the thaumaturgy.
And he spins back around, and he's like, Did you see what I did?
Geth is just wide-eyed, like, "Oh my gosh, you're a wizard."
And he's
Marthalla's crying because it's so cute.
You're a wizard, Gorkle.
Yes.
So he clutches, he's like holding the wand like almost reverently, and like to himself he goes, "I knew I could do it."
I did too, buddy.
Oh boy.
He's like, you know how you can stick a sword like hilt to the point where you can like hold the hilt of the sword and it looks cool, right? Like he's doing that with his wand. Like it's in his belt, and he's like holding the end, and he's like posing. He's like, "Yes, I am very cool. I knew I could do it. I am a wizard."
I look at him and say, "You keep that ready. We may need it sometime."
And he nods very seriously, like, "Yes, I am ready." And he yawns, and like it's clear that he hasn't been sleeping. Like he's been that terrified. And he leans up against Geth, and he says, "I'll keep watch." And he falls asleep.
Me too. As in keeping watch, not falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are we taking a long rest or a short rest?
Oh, I don't know.
I think
guys.
we take a short rest here.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the place for a long rest.
I mean, it's a possibility because
agree.
Gorkle's been here for a while, but I'm down for either.
I would like to point out that he's been making a lot of noise.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm voting short rest personally.
Yep, same.
short rest it is. So you
Great.
guys rest here for about 30 minutes.
Take short rest.
So he gets a nice
I'm
nap
going
in.
to try and recover hit die
Do it up.
And hit die.
and hit die because I have one.
Well, it's your con modifier, but yeah.
Well, but I only have. Is it? You said plus con modifier,
Nice.
Yeah, that's how hit die works.
which is 1, so that's 4 points of healing.
That's how
Alright.
hit die work.
Okay, better than nothing.
I have my spell back, guys.
Your one spell.
Spell singular.
That
My
one
spell.
that one he's got. It's back.
Good job, buddy. What does spell scrolls do? Is that just a one and done?
Yeah, it's a one and
Yeah,
done,
Yeah,
unless you're a wizard.
I'm a what?
Okay. So, Gorko has a sword and a short bow strapped to his back. And this wand, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Okay, so short rest is rested. What do you guys do next?
How does one lure a great ballywhacking centipede out of this cave?
Oh, also, by the way, would I know how big this thing would be?
Yeah, monstrously huge.
Okay.
Like 10, 15 feet long.
Which you've still
shit.
told no one.
Centipede, like,
I
whoa.
doesn't even matter at this point.
Did you just say it doesn't really matter at this point? Chaotic neutral. Jesus.
Yeah. Don't if you have some tricks with sound, we could position ourselves and make a whole bunch of sound right in that choke point.
Well, my concern is how we can I take a look at that thing and see how weak it is if a sound would knock it down or the stalagmite ceiling
Tight.
Tight.
We can make the
can we
ground
tell
rumble.
how vulnerable it is? Like if we make
Uh,
a bunch of noise, is it just gonna come crashing down?
Yeah, go for it. Roll me.
Intelligence?
Roll me like an investigation check.
One six.
So you guys can roll investigation, nature, perception, or survival.
Oh,
Investigation, nature, perception.
Roll
or
to 2, doesn't
survival?
matter.
You're the worst.
in that case, it's 18.
Okay. I have. Oh wow, that's huge. It's a 6.
Druge has a 19, or actually 23 non-survival.
Okay, so Druge can tell that it does appear weakened, which makes sense. There are a couple of cracks through the ceiling, and there are some piles of rocks that look like stalactites that have come down around the cracks. And so at this area, they all look pretty ready to go. You imagine if you deal some sort of force, like with a weapon or like thunder damage, like that level of like sound force, you'd be able to bring the rocks down. Oh, who picked up the longsword, by the way?
I don't know if
Uh,
anyone
And
did.
even though a party member would have loved to play with it.
Yeah, I didn't grab it. So I don't like weapons.
If nobody's gonna take it, I'll take it. But
I mean,
least to hold on
Marthala
to.
would probably swing it about pretty well.
she's welcome to it.
Hey, Angel Face, we found this sword over here. You want to give it a swing?
I would
would love to.
So as you pick it up, it feels so amazing. And it just slices through the air so nicely. And you have a +1 longsword.
Nice.
Ooh.
It is a magic weapon.
I was
It
hoping for a
is-
Constitution saving throw, but sure.
+1 bonus to attack and damage rolls. Proficiency with a longsword allows you to add your proficiency bonus to the attack roll for any attack you make with it.
Oh.
Which you have
Oop.
because it's a martial weapon.
More than your great
It's a very pretty +1 longsword.
Well, it's more like a metal +1 longsword. Like it's got the
Yes,
skeleton
a super
hand and
metal.
it's like
Like it's badass.
it's like super. It's a badass sword.
That's awesome.
I will read you the description again. The hilt of the sword is fashioned like a skeletal hand. So you're like holding on to like the wrist bone of this like of the it's like the skeleton is holding the sword for you. And there's a skull and bones motif is very prominent in the whole design of the weapon.
Awesome.
Yeah, super.
Marthalla's a badass, you guys.
I mean, we knew that. She hasn't missed.
Well, why you guys say that?
Okay, so back to the rocks. Druge, you know that you can bring it down, but once you do it, it's gonna weaken it pretty well. So you want to make sure you time all this right.
Yeah, Druge will explain all of that to probably Quentin at first, and if the rest of the party happens to be listening in, that's fine.
And he'll kind of compare notes and be like, "Do you think like can you throw an axe at it, or should I shoot it?" You know, kind of comparing like best ways to knock it down.
So you're looking at like a 10-foot by 10-foot area of this weakened stone, and like you're not quite sure how big this critter is, but just to remind you, Gorko has described something that's like bigger than his tiny arms and wiggles, and he says that narrow spot, like it can squeeze through the narrow spot, so like it's really big.
Yeah.
I lads, you remember when I got really angry and confused, and I yelled, and it kind of slammed all you back?
Yes, it hurt.
Do you think that you can reach that far up?
Sorry about that, mate. I might.
That
Now,
might be our best shot.
Put me at considerable danger. This isn't my bag normally, but
I mean, I
we
could
can
just
go
hit
back.
the wall really hard.
Well, why don't we let you give it a like? We'll lure it out. We'll let you give it a shot by shouting at it real loud, and if it doesn't work, then Druge, you can charge the wall.
Who's the fastest here? Who's the lightest on the feet?
I think that might be you.
I don't know. Q's
no,
pretty
he
light
doesn't
on his
have very
feet.
range. I think Druge probably has the largest range out of all of you.
Oh,
Range, yes.
that's a-
Lightest on his feet.
What does lightest on feet mean? Like, are you looking for somebody who's quiet, like stealthy, or are you looking for
No,
somebody who can go
who's
fast
gonna
and
be
far?
able to move the fastest?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna vote Q on that.
I'm not too bad. I can make a run for it if I have to.
So, what if I position myself right here in the mouth of this here hole? This dangly little bit of halfling meat. Gross. I regret saying that.
Yeah, I don't like that
Freezing.
at all. Mature
And
audience.
y'all arrange yourselves behind me. Now step back just a little bit. Make sure that I'm not gonna yell your bloody heads off. Oh, Quentin, you go on in there and thing off something royal. And back through, and as soon as it lodges itself in here, I'll scream at it.
I'll scream at it real loud.
We'll see if I can make it happen again. I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of considerable danger here.
I think that
He's
sounds like
lost
a plan.
his normal confident.
Oh.
You can tell that he's really not real happy about doing this, but
I'll Quentin will put his hand on his shoulder and be like, I think that sounds like a fine plan. I think that's probably our best bet.
Okay, so just to be clear, Relic is going to stand in this open space.
Oh, sorry. I'll say, well, how far do you think you can shout? I don't think you should stand in the doorway.
Oh, based on what our goblin friend said, didn't he say it had to squeeze, so it'll have to slow down a little bit, right?
I wouldn't count on that. It might be able to knock some of this loose, but the point is that it might fill the gap.
I stand back about 10 feet.
Maybe behind that first stalagmite. To your left there.
I don't know that will be close enough.
What's the range on that?
Yeah?
Is it 5 feet for thunder? Wait,
15.
15? Oh, okay.
15-foot cube.
Cube. Yeah, he's gonna have to be pretty close to it. He's gonna have
Okay.
to be like right here, at least.
Well, what if we put Druge between you and the doorway,
Then he'll have to hit him.
or near you?
Druge would probably need to be like here-ish.
What if Druge was on the opposite side, so as soon as this stalactite falls, he can slap it with his great bloody glaive, and then Marthala can dig in with her sword.
It's like the other
And
side
then
of
we
the
got-
doorway
Like
from
on
you?
this side?
Just a little ways away from me.
No, like to the south, I think.
Down.
So they're on either
like
side
right
of the
around
doorway.
this right around the corner. Yeah.
Like that?
Waiting.
Well, I
Yeah, I
think I have a way to stop this thing if it doesn't work. But I think I know what creature our little friend is talking about, and I think they're pretty aggressive.
So what you're saying is I could probably just fire generally in its direction and it'll charge us.
Yes, probably. But once it starts charging, I mean, we'll have to do something.
Well, let's all post up behind a stalagmite and I'll see if I can't get it to come at us, and I'll run back in here and then we'll initiate.
I would step Marthala and Druge back
Maybe
at least
one
one more
step.
square so they're safe. Yeah, they're safe from my.
All that.
Sorry, how do you want me to move people? Does this look okay?
I think I'm waiting for it to update.
Okay. So I've got Druge and Marthala like to the south of the pink square.
Yeah, I think
Right
one
now
more
it's still
square
showing
for you.
Druge. Yeah, Druge is touching the pink square.
Okay, I'll move him down. I'll move him and Marthala down a square, so he's like a square away from it.
Or with Glaive, can you attack through Marthalla's square? Then she does them.
Yeah. So if she were a square ahead of me, I could reach over her. Yes.
Oh, so if you just switch places.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta be right up on it.
I do
Okay.
not. So that works.
Like that?
And then down one for each. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be. There's a stalactite, like the one that's closest to Brandon. I'm gonna be right there.
Okay, I've got you behind it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Right there.
Geth, where do you want to be?
I'm fine right there. That's fine.
Okay. And then, yeah, if you guys can just keep the center area free, because I'll be coming in hot. I'll go take a look.
Okay. This looks like a pretty good plan. We're pretty close to 8 o'clock. So what I can do is either get you guys far enough to trigger combat, because obviously that's coming, or we can pause it here and pick it up next week, and do like the role playing and that kind of thing, like the RP point and anything you want me to note down or anything like that.
I'd vote for that one.
Anybody want to push
Sure.
on for a couple more minutes?
I want to know what happened.
Well, a giant centipede is about to try and eat us.
I mean, I want to do the whole combat, but I don't think we have time for that.
Oh, we
Yeah.
definitely don't have time for that. No.
I'm good with whichever.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
I reckon this is a good stopping point.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
That'll give us time to do all the other stuff.
Okay. One question: what do you do with Gorko while you're setting up for this combat?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. What is he doing or what?
You should stay
We're
back.
gonna sit him far away.
Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
tuck him
all
way back
the
in
way
the
at the
corner.
back.
Like behind me or on the pile of bones?
Like
I
he
was
was
thinking
looking
about-
at.
We're gonna charge him with the very important task of keeping watch.
Okay,
Maybe
so
like in the little
Guard
as
cove
you
back.
guys
where he was before.
as you guys
Yeah.
are like discussing what you're gonna do, he starts to get like a little upset, and he's like, "Are you guys gonna be okay? Like my master, he ran away, and I mean there are more of you, but are you gonna be okay? I can help." And he pulls out his wand, and he's like, "You saw me, I can help. I'll help."
Whoa,
we
whoa,
need
whoa, whoa.
we need you to stay back here and be our backup.
Oh,
What we
So-
have to have you do, magic focused on that opening, so that if anything else tries to get through, you can stop it. Okay?
okay. And he's like, "Okay." And he was looking really nervous when he was like, "I can help." Like it's like his mouth was "I can help," and his eyes were like, "It's easy." So you're telling him like you want him to be the backup, and he's like, "Yeah, I could do that. I could do that." And he sidles behind the stalagmite, and he's like, "Yes, I am watching. I can do this. I am watching. I can do this." And he's like got a mantra going.
Oh my gosh.
That's perfect. No one will spot you there. You'll be super sneaky.
And he's like, right here. Yeah, this is good. I can see you. Yeah, and I got your back. Yeah, I got it. He's very excited. Okay.
Right
So
then.
I'm gonna save this map here. And so the plan is Quentin's gonna lure the critter. Once the critter's in the kill
Fine.
zone. What?
I said it's fine.
Once the critter's in the kill zone, Brandon's gonna bring down the house. And then Marthala and Druge are gonna stabby.
If shit goes down, I am planning to cast sleep on the thing.
Now, here's the deal, Brandel. When you say "if shit goes down," quote unquote, that kind of
If
sounds
I
like
see
your
someone
"oh
like
shit"
go
movement,
unconscious or something,
quote unquote, which usually means you disappear. So be a
Yeah,
little more
I know,
specific.
but this time, that's why, like this time, I have this save if we need it. So like, I'm not gonna use it right away, but like, if we need it, I'm gonna sleep the
You're
thing.
gonna accidentally cast it on the rest of us, and
If
decide
I have to, it's a big area, so I might have to sleep someone else. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm saving it unless, like, if we absolutely need it, if someone is like dead, I will sleep it. But I might have to like hit someone. So I don't know.
Yeah, for the
I like
record,
that you're preparing us to be disappointed in you.
Thank you.
Yes, you understood my message. Thank you.
I mean, it's a 20-foot cube. It's or a sphere? I don't even know. I think it's a sphere.
it also starts at lowest hit points and goes to highest. So.
Yep. Is that-
So it
okay,
would
that's
sleep
good.
all of us before the centipede.
That's a good point. Yeah, he
Yeah,
probably has.
we're all asleep when it comes around the corner and eats us.
It's like, oh,
Oh,
The
free me
spell
up.
goes off.
I just imagine it looking over at Quentin, give a big toothy grin and 2 thumbs up, and then just starts eating.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, cool. Although I will point out
thanks,
that it
man.
only likes eating dead things, so...
There.
Okay, so that's the plan. Gath, I assume your plan is to heal everybody.
Yep.
And Gorko is the lookout. I'm just writing that down so I can remind you guys in a week.
Good.
All right, any questions?
Don't think so.
Anything you want me to note down besides the fact that my filters in Twitch do not edit out
Like
dangly bit of
anything
halfway
that
meat?
You
Well,
are a really good baby goblin.
Oh my
thank
goodness.
you.
Just
Yes,
saying.
thank you.
Can we
Yes.
give you the RP point?
I know, right?
No.
No, you're getting it for that light thing. That was
Yeah,
amazing.
dude.
For
Yeah.
the what? Oh, the
Gaff
thing you did on the
where-
wand?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
hell
let's do
yeah.
RP point.
Too cute.
Okay,
Ga-
so I've got... Oh, I need to do this in the chat. Hold, please. Keyboard. Where? Keyboard. Where? Keyboard. Where?
Can we just all vote for Geth now? And
I
call
mean,
it a
yeah.
I
day?
mean, if you
happening.
guys, want to call it for a guess. Is
We're
there
gonna give it to Jeff for his amazing life trick with baby Gorkle.
Yep.
Support.
Okay, is there any honorable mentions you want me to write down for flavor fun? Any other moments you guys were like, yeah, that was pretty good?
I would like to give credit to whoever made the comment about just burning the whole place to the ground when we
That was
first saw
also-
the fight.
That was Geth,
I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Period.
How did you phrase that, Geth?
Guess we'll have to burn the place to the ground.
Yeah, like, so the first time I read this module, I was like, oh, there's a spider, so I burnt my house down. Like, that meme popped into my head.
Right.
Kill it with fire.
Yeah. Honorable mentions Marthalo playing patty cake with
Yeah, that was super cute.
Gorkle.
Mm-hmm.
So his name is Gorko, so Gorkoh. He just
We're
says
gonna
it
write
weird.
that down.
And he's the greatest, and we're keeping him forever.
Yep.
I really do appreciate Wordman's. Can we keep him? Like he said that immediately after you guys met him.
Yeah.
Like we hadn't even gotten into the cute stuff yet, and like I've got stuff that's like if you're mean to him, one thing happens. If you guys are nice to him,
Right.
another thing happens, and like I really like the way you guys handled that. I think it was good. Okay, so I think we're good.
Sounds good.
How you guys feeling? Is this going okay for you guys?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
going pretty good.
yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll keep
Oh.
doing this. I am
Right.
quite enjoying this. This is
Your
fun.
bardic inspiration. I'm not going to keep giving it to you.
To
I mean,
Marthala?
I used mine.
Oh.
Didn't need it. I hit the thing anyway.
Nobody used-
Oh.
No, I've used mine.
Wow.
Yeah, Drew's uses his. And I think
does.
I think a couple of you have used the RP point that I've given you too.
Yeah.
I
Somebody.
don't think I used it when I got it.
I never
Use
remember
it for
to use
the
it.
Thunder Wave.
Yeah, I never forget. I forgot until at the end we started talking about the next RP point. I was like, oh, I had it.
Yeah. That's what I do.
What I need to do is remember who has it, so that I can be like,
I need to just like write
that
it down.
terrible roll that you had, you could re-roll it. But I always forget too because I'm a bad GM.
Yeah, Geth used it on a saving throw at some point.
Yeah, Geth
Yeah,
I
I had
think
to use-
has used it most consistently.
Nice.
Yeah, all right, you guys did good. You killed a spider. You saved a goblin, which is how he feels. Let's see if I've got any other fun goblin stuff I can tell you. He's like dressed like a tiny adventurer.
That's so cute.
He's adorable.
Are they like clearly like kids' clothes, like dressed up to look like adventuring gear, or like adventuring
they're
gear
like-
like tailored smaller?
Yeah, they're adventuring gear that's been like cut down for him.
Awesome.
Also, he said his master went deeper into.
Yes,
Yeah.
which is the direction you guys are headed in.
Yeah.
Plot twist: his master is the centipede. We're all gonna die.
He turns around. Gorko told you powerful.
That would be terrible.
And he's just puppeting the centipede.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna end the stream. We will see you stream next week. Thank you guys so much for joining us. You guys are awesome. Gonna end stream and then we'll finish up with the party in a second. Okay, bye
Great.
stream.